Okay, YouTubers, this is Terry, the old guy from EGADjewelry.com down here in the O'Galley Art District, Melbourne, Florida. And as you can see, what I have here is a whale tail pendant. But this whale tail pendant has problems. And I'd like to show you a little trick I learned many years ago. And it's the same trick that I use to build up prongs. Let's see, can I get it any bigger? Okay. If you look, you can see where the metal is worn out at the top. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the same technique I use for retipping prongs. And I'm going to take a little piece of gold, a little piece of wire, and I'm going to match it up with about the same weight of a small piece of 14 karat gold solder. I'm going to put those two pieces together on top of that charcoal block and let them melt into each other. Now what that's going to do is it's going to heat up, and when it heats up it will melt, but when it melts it won't run like solder does. It will actually stay real close to the place that you put it. So I want to see if I can build this up by using that method. I think you'll really like this technique of mixing 14 karat yellow gold with 14 karat yellow gold easy, extra easy solder, and just building it up. Okay, that's how. In order to do this job, I have two little small pieces of gold here that I cut off of a piece of wire. There's one there, and there's one there. Over here I have a couple pieces of solder. And what I like to do is I'll take a little bit of flux. I'll hit both of these pieces of gold right here, but I want to melt them into a ball. When I melt them into a ball, that tells me how big they are. And I want to match them up with a piece of solder that is at least as big as the gold, so that we can blend them together. Okay. I think I'll be all right. Looks like I picked the two right pieces. They look about the same size. So I'm going to take this piece of solder over here. I'm going to move it over here. I want those two to melt together. Now, remember, that's a piece of 14 karat gold, yellow gold, and a piece of 14 karat yellow gold solder. And I want it to spin. Boom, done. That one's done. Good mix. This one, watch it spin. There it is, it's done. Now, the object is to get these two little pieces up inside there. All right, I fluxed it up. I am going to hit the flux on these little balls again, because sometimes that just makes it a little easier to pick them up. I don't know why. I think it's because it flows a little more. But we're going to heat that area up. And remember, the hard part is getting the solder to just stay where the hell you want it. And this makes it easier for me. There's the little ball. Let's heat this up a little bit. You see it just filled in that area perfectly. Now let's take this other little piece. This is for, I guess, to just overdo it a little bit. Well, didn't want to cooperate. Let me get my solder back. All right, let's try that again. My solder came off and it's stuck on the bottom. Now, I want to get it up on the top. There it is. I'm going to turn it, let you see it. And I hope you can see it, but now we got metal in the top now. Not that thin little piece of wire. Let's look at it from the other side. I think I'm going to add just a little bit more. It really looks nice, but I go for perfection, guys. This is Terry, the old guy from EGADjewelry.com. This is the final. I finished this job. Just wanted to show you how it was. Don't mind my fingers if they're dirty. I've been busy polishing this thing. But you see how much the thickness is improved on the top? That's not going to wear out overnight. Same from this side. You can see how the thickness, especially right up in here, now we have something we can be proud of. No more groove. Everything's polished. This thing is just like new. Simply amazing. Now, a thing you might note is I told you that little trick of mixing a little bit of a 50-50 mixture of 14 karat gold and easy flow solder. That technique I use, but you have to be a little bit careful. The trick is to get the solder to flow where you want it, but don't boil it. Don't overheat it. If you have to add more solder, then add more solder, or add more of a combination. But if you heat it too much, what happens is it actually starts to like boil. And next thing you'll know, you'll look at it and you'll see all these little like bubble holes in it. And that's because you got that solder too hot. It's just like if you were using this combination on top of a prong and you wanted to retip a prong. I always say put down a small amount first and just get it to flow. And then if you need more up on that prong, just mix up another little piece, add it up on the top, get it to flow. But when you get it to flow, don't get it so hot that it boils. Otherwise, when you start trying to polish that and reshape that prong up on the top and follow the edges, you're going to wind up coming up with little sections on the top that look like little air bubbles were underneath it. To avoid that, just heat it up till it flows. Don't overheat it. Overheating solder makes it boil. Puts little air gas pockets in your seams. Don't overheat your solder. I'm going to call it a day. I've had fun. I hope you have too. See ya.